If you're a real Warriors fan living in the US, this video is for you. From coast to coast, America is buzzing after last night's game. Steph Curry just reminded the whole country why he runs the West. The NBA has witnessed countless legendary moments, but what just happened has shaken the entire basketball world to its core. For decades, expansion teams were considered projects, stepping stones, and learning experiences that rarely made noise in their first years. But against all odds, the Golden State Valkyries, a brand new franchise, have stormed into the spotlight and etched their names into history as the first expansion team ever to reach the NBA playoffs. This isn't just a basketball story. This is a revolution. This is the kind of shockwave that forces every fan, analyst, and rival franchise to stop what they're doing and pay attention. The Valkyries' journey began as little more than a dream. Just months ago, skeptics laughed at the idea of a new franchise being able to compete with the established giants of the league. Expansion teams were supposed to take time, years of trial and error, countless losses, and endless criticism before even sniffing postseason glory. That's the script we've always seen. From the Vancouver Grizzlies to the Charlotte Bobcats, to more recent expansions in sports, history told us to expect failure before success. Yet the Valkyries shredded that script and replaced it with their own story of defiance, resilience, and shocking brilliance. Night after night, they proved they were not just here to fill in the schedule. They were here to dominate. What started as a team with no chemistry and no expectations quickly evolved into one of the most electrifying squads in the entire NBA. And the way they've done it has left fans everywhere in disbelief. Their defense suffocates opponents, their ball movement flows like a veteran squad, and their energy never seems to fade. How can an expansion team, built in record time, look more cohesive than franchises that have been building for decades? That's the question haunting everyone. The Golden State Valkyries didn't just survive their first season. They thrived. They took down heavyweights, stunned championship contenders, and never once looked intimidated. And perhaps the most shocking part? The fanbase. From the very first home game, the Valkyries arena has been rocking like a playoff environment. Their fans, hungry for something new, have created one of the loudest and most passionate atmospheres in the league. Every three-pointer, every steal, every fast break feels like an earthquake shaking the Bay Area. Warriors fans may have paved the way, but Valkyries fans are carving their own legend. When they finally clinched their playoff spot, the basketball world exploded. Social media erupted. Analysts who once dismissed them as irrelevant were now forced to eat their words. Highlight reels flooded every platform, fans across the globe scrambled to get Valkyries jerseys, and legends of the game took to Twitter and Instagram to give respect. This wasn't supposed to happen. And yet it did. Steph Curry, who has been the face of Bay Area basketball for over a decade, couldn't hide his admiration. Curry himself said, "What they've done is unbelievable. It's inspiring. This is history." Draymond Green, never shy with his opinions, admitted he didn't expect the Valkyries to make this much noise, this quickly. Even LeBron James, the king of the Lakers, was asked about the Valkyries and simply shook his head, smiling, saying, "That's greatness. You can't deny it." When your rivals are giving you props, you know you've done something incredible. But let's be clear. This wasn't luck. This was built with precision. From the coaching staff to the front office, every move mattered. The Valkyries didn't just throw random players together. They built a roster with grit, fire, and hunger. They drafted wisely, they made underrated signings, and they unleashed a brand of basketball that feels modern yet fearless. Their young core plays like veterans. Their veterans play like they're 10 years younger. It's a balance that feels almost too perfect to be real. Their rise has drawn comparisons to iconic underdog stories in sports history. People are mentioning the 1995-96 Chicago Bulls when they shocked the league with 72 wins, the 2015 Warriors who revolutionized the game with three-point shooting, and even the 2008 Celtics who turned a struggling franchise into a champion overnight. Yet what makes the Valkyries different is that this isn't a rebuild or a retool. This is day one. This is year one. And already, they're rewriting history. For Lakers fans, this moment is bittersweet. The headline reads Lakers historic, and make no mistake, the Los Angeles Lakers remain one of the most storied franchises in the NBA. But even their historic brand, even their legendary legacy, has been momentarily overshadowed by the Valkyries' shocking rise. When the Valkyries clinched the playoffs, Lakers Nation couldn't help but react. Some praised them, some mocked them, and some worried. Because if an expansion team can do this in its first season, what does that mean for the balance of power in the Western Conference? Could the Valkyries become a legitimate threat to the Lakers' pursuit of another championship? Could this be the birth of a new rivalry, one that will define the next decade of basketball in California? Every great story needs a rival. Every hero needs a villain. And maybe, just maybe, the Lakers and Valkyries are destined to collide in a battle for supremacy on the West Coast. Imagine the playoffs: LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and the Purple and Gold Empire facing off against the fearless newcomers from the Bay. It would be more than a basketball series. It would be a cultural war. Old dynasty versus new blood. Legacy versus destiny. The NBA couldn't script it better if they tried. But beyond rivalries and speculation, the Valkyries' story is bigger than basketball. It's about belief. It's about showing the world that expectations can be shattered. It's about proving that when you combine vision, heart, and fearless execution, anything is possible. They've inspired a generation of fans, especially young kids watching at home, who now believe that even the impossible can become reality. Expansion teams were never supposed to win. But the Valkyries dared to ask, why not us? And in doing so, they've changed the game forever. Their journey doesn't end with just making the playoffs. That's the beauty of this story. The Valkyries aren't satisfied with just breaking barriers. They want more. They want to compete. They want to shock the world again and again. No matter who they face in the first round, they'll step onto that court with the same energy that brought them here: fearless, relentless, and unapologetic. And every opponent will feel the weight of history pressing down on them, because they know they're not just playing against a team. They're playing against destiny. Fans across the league are now split. Some are rooting for the Valkyries to keep pushing forward, hoping they'll become the Cinderella story that defines this season. Others are rooting against them, waiting for the fairy tale to end. But no matter where you stand, one thing is certain: you can't ignore them. You can't look away. The Valkyries have forced their way into the conversation, and they're not leaving anytime soon. This is more than just a playoff berth. This is the birth of a new era. This is the Golden State Valkyries making history, and the NBA will never be the same again. From the Bay Area to the bright lights of Los Angeles, from New York to overseas fans watching in awe, basketball has been given a new storyline, one that will be told for generations. Years from now, when people look back on this season, they'll say, that was the year everything changed. And it all started with the Valkyries refusing to accept the limits history tried to put on them. The impossible has become possible, and the entire NBA is on notice.